How much has my investment grown? So, you took your hard-earned savings and with help and advice from your financial advisor, you invested those savings in an Edgepoint portfolio. But how much has your investment grown? Seems like a simple question, right? In theory, you simply look at your net invested amount, which is the value of all your deposits less any withdrawals, and compare it to how much your investment is worth today, known as market value. The difference should be how much you've made. Doesn't seem like rocket science, does it? In practice, things are different. When investors receive their account statement, they notice two things about their investment: book value and market value. They take the difference between the two and assume that's their return. Sounds logical, but this is not actually how much money you've made. Why not? Because book value's main use is for tax purposes and cannot be used to calculate your investment growth. Book value is not your net invested amount. Before we discover the right way to calculate the growth in your investment, let's go through some basics first. What is a mutual fund? What's a mutual fund distribution? What happens when a distribution is paid? How do I determine my investment growth? What is a mutual fund? A mutual fund represents a group of people pooling their money together to invest in businesses, which are selected by professional investors known as portfolio managers. The portfolio managers invest investors' money in a variety of businesses. If the businesses grow in value over time, then so does your investment, which helps build your long-term wealth. What's a mutual fund distribution? When the mutual fund's investments grow in value, the portfolio managers may decide to sell them. When the price of a business sold is higher than the cost of purchasing it, the profit is called a capital gain. These businesses may also pay dividends or interest income if you invest in bonds. These are all forms of income that are paid to the investor. This type of income received by the investor is called a distribution. Investors then pay tax on these distributions unless the investment is held in a government-registered account, like a TFSA, RRSP, or RRIF, in which case you don't pay taxes on distributions. What happens when a distribution is paid? When a distribution is paid, investors can choose to receive it in cash or automatically use it to buy more units of the fund they own, known as reinvesting distributions. If you buy more units of the fund with your distributions, your book value increases with each distribution. Your net invested amount plus any reinvested distributions is known as your book value. Your book value increasing is a good thing because when you eventually sell your mutual fund investment, your capital gain will be lower as your book value is higher. Therefore, you avoid double taxation. However, the increase in book value makes it an inaccurate measure of how well your investment has performed. How do I determine my investment growth? Here's an example of calculating investment growth. Imagine you invested $20,000 3 years ago. The fund paid out distributions of $9,000, which you reinvested by buying more units of the fund. Your book value has now increased to $29,000. Let's assume the market value of your investment, or what your investment is now worth, is $30,000. If you try to calculate investment growth by subtracting your book value from the market value, then it seems like you only made a total of $1,000. But this is wrong. To calculate the growth in your investment, use the net invested amount. In this example, your net invested amount was $20,000. So subtract this from the market value, $30,000. Therefore, your investment growth equals $10,000. Let's recap a few important points. Mutual funds can help you build long-term wealth and achieve your financial goals. Book value is relevant for tax purposes, but not for calculating investment performance, since mutual fund distributions can increase your book value over time. Use your net invested amount versus market value to calculate the growth in your investment. Do not use book value. If you have any questions, talk to your financial advisor.